I'm looking forward to it. I think this is gonna be fun. So we'll do that. We've got graduates. As far as I haven't had any other things presented to me, so I assume you've got
Those names I haven't had them. I've got pictures from
Jesse, we have Emery, we have Katie, and we have JC. Speech.
yeah, speeches are
Long speech. And you're supposed to hear public observations. You learn on the preaching. That's right. That's right. You can.
Whenever I officially graduate, I have to give a speech.
So she can give the same one in case she practice.
Yeah, I ain't heard it.
Got it great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know that you guys next weekend.
You guys changed begin to the 20th, 30th.
Okay. So 2 more weeks.
Switch out of that.
And I think that's it now. Other adults. Other announcements.
Joey Green, is that a day or, yeah. One day.
well,
Did you get
Nobody's.
Yes. Take a look at the prayer list and what do we got? What's going on?
The date on 48, was made today and talked to you there. And I got cancer, still hanging in there.
That's already in it. You spend.
Yes.
We had it. So the cheese.
knee surgery and problems.
Knee
Yep, knee surgery and stomach problems.
Carter, Ronnie Carter.
She does. She doesn't mean. And somebody at
Okay.
That's the one.
Okay.
We need to remember him. Everybody. Well,
Okay.
to me, he seemed like, yeah, like I said before. So I tried to, put ideas. It's hard,
Yeah, exactly.
3 times a week.
That's just tough on them.
And who is this? Brenda F.
Did you put her? This could be. And we will for now under hospice. James. So no,
40.
no trade plan. Get her over there. Stable enough.
Yeah, we'll take it. They stay on one week. And then
Yeah.
Okay. I heard now. You hear things, but I heard Andy Lambert's farms in hospice and he asked me.
The way you basically. Sorry.
So remember Andy Lambert and his family.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's either close to passing or has passed. Okay. Others? Remember Tracy, we won't put her on, but she's got a super bad cold or maybe a touch of COVID or something. But she won't stay home. She goes to a job she hates. I said, man, this is an excuse to stay home and stay in bed.
She's dedicated.
Yes, she is. She is. So, but she comes home and goes to bed. Basically.
Yes.
All right. Before we pray.
Storm, but on our way over here, the storm is raining.
As long as we're not going to be in thunder and lightning, I don't mind staying. Well, I don't want to rain. We need to move. Now get time to do it. So. Thank you for your blessings. We're thankful for answered prayer. Pray for these been mentioned tonight. I think Todd every day, Lord, just give him the strength to improve, to push, to help himself get a little bit better. But Lord, also some time well, be with him for his family. Lord, as he deals with his father. As we look at your words tonight, to learn something from the Lord, we ask this in my name. Amen. Want to sit down there? Good. Cole, you go up if you guys want to go up. Thoughts for
I ain't doing this. You know, I ain't much. We just say,
all right.
do that, read. That's if I had to go over the weekend, good.
So we might be a little shorter anyway, depending on how my voice goes. Let me see. So we're talking about the Israelites and the rebuilding of the temple. What are some of the takeaways? What are some of the lessons or the sermons that we've looked at? What did they need to do?
God.
All right, get back to God. So obey God no matter what is one of them. What else? What else can we do if we're discouraged, disappointed, frustrated? Pray. But what did praise always to get answered, but that's not what was the favorite soldiers do. What were some of King David happened to them? Remember what happened to him last week? What was brought to them? I have to go out now. What was brought to them? Returned to them. All of the simple bill that came from the temple, again, over they returned all the temple, the gold, the silver, all the vessels, everything that went into the temple, they got back. Okay, now, so we let different things encourage us in our life. How about what else encourages us besides things? What else has God used to encourage us? His love. Huh? His love. His love. Through other people around us that came and brought words of encouragement and whatever. And the last one, which is the first one, at the very beginning, was do the next right thing, which kind of goes with obedience, kind of mesh together. But do the next right thing. We don't know what to do. Right? We're discouraged, we're dissatisfied. Just get up and do the next right thing. A lot of times when we get discouraged, we just stop. You just don't feel like doing anything, so you don't. Well, just do the next right thing. Whatever that happens to be, do the next right thing. And so tonight, we're going to look at lean into God's presence. Lean in to God's presence. I want you to look through the book of Haggai. We're going to be in Haggai tonight. And I want you to skim through it and see if you can spot any verses that might talk about God's presence. There's 2 or 3 of them. Remember, find Matthew, go back a couple pages. Zephaniah, Haggai. Any verses you see there that talk about God's presence? Yeah. Where's that? Verse 14. What's the verse right before it? I am with you. Right? Is that talking about God's presence? Yeah, I am with you, saith the Lord. And then because of that, he stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the prophet, or the governor, and Haggai was a prophet, and helped him encourage him. Skip into chapter 2 there and skim down. See if you can find that I am with you again. Verse 4. So he says, all you people of the land, say the Lord, and work, for I am with you. And then if you look at verse 5, he says, according to the word that I covenanted with you, And ye came out of Egypt, so my spirit remaineth among you. Fear ye not. How did the children of Israel, when they came out of Egypt, how did they know God was with them? What was the sign God gave them? Do you remember?
Pillar of fire.
A pillar of fire by night and a pillar of clouds by day. That told the children of Israel, hey, I am with you. I will protect you. And he put that pillar of fire in between them and the Egyptians before he opened up the Red Sea. When you look at these words, notice how courage and the lack of fear were combined with God's presence, right? So if you look at verse 4 again, he tells the people right before he says, I am with you, he tells them to do what? Or even the first phrase of verse 4. Be strong. Yeah, be strong. If you go back to chapter 1, says that he told them that at the end of verse 12, it says that God had sent him and the people did fear before the Lord. And so he's telling them, hey, I am with you. Don't be what? Don't be afraid. And one of my favorite books, got several, but one of my favorite books in the Bible is Joshua. And Joshua says that a lot in chapters 1 and 2 about not being afraid, right? Have courage. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. And he repeats that over and over and over. I am with you. And this isn't just a statement of God's location. It rather shows his loyalty, not his proximity. It shows his commitment to you and to me. It shows his interest in us. It shows his investment in us. No matter what happens, we can take courage. I want you to think about other places in the Bible. Other places in the Bible that he tells us to have courage, or don't fear, or that he's with us. Back's getting wet. Woo! Sorry. Where else does he say to have courage or not fear? Or, well, it's coming in that way too? Or that he's with us? Can you think of any? Maybe you don't know the passage, but you know kind of the phrasing, or you know the story. Where else is God with us? Or he doesn't want us to be afraid.
Psalms 23.
Psalm 23. Good one. Yeah. The whole thing, really, but he does say that he doesn't. Wow. It's 2 degrees when we showed up. Okay. God with us in the storm. Woo! Yeah, it will pass. When else is God with us? Or did he tell us to take courage? Sometimes the kids read this one on Sunday mornings. God has not given us what? What? Okay. He's not giving us a spirit of fear, but of power. So God doesn't want us to be afraid. How about when he gives the Great Commission? He tells us to go out into all the world. And then at the very end of that, he says, for what? For I am with you always, even until the end of the year. Okay? Lots of different places that God tells us that he's with us, which means that he's invested in you. He cares about you. I can give you a lot more. They're all here. Isaiah 41:10, 2 Timothy 4:17. I think you might have said that one. We just did Matthew 28:20. So what I want you to do, even this week, right, is I would challenge you to look up that phrase, I am with you, or don't be afraid, and write that out somewhere and just keep it in front of you. Put it in your dashboard in your car, put it in your bathroom mirror, whatever, and just try to remember. How does it change your perspective knowing that God's on your side? Does it?
Yeah.
How? Why?
When I get up each morning, first thing I do before my feet ever hit the floor is I thank God for good night's sleep
Yeah,
or a night's sleep.
yeah,
Really good or bad. He got me through it.
sure.
It would be through the day and encourage me when I read this book.
Sure.
I go to the living room, pick it up, before I used to go to the top spot, because it's more important than the top.
Okay.
But I went to the top spot, got the top, I read three chapters in each book.
Sure.
Just to be the eighth time I went through it.
That's awesome.
And
How does that help you though? Why?
it just gives me a bounce in my step.
Good.
He gives bounce in my step, and I can show people that I love God through myself.
Sure. Sure.
You know, it's
You face the day better.
yeah.
It starts you with a positive attitude.
Right.
What happens when something goes wrong during the day?
I just feel God to make it.
Sure. What do unsafe people do when things go bad? Give me some example. They what? Blame someone else.
They give up
They give up. They use what?
wrong chosen word.
Yes, sir. That's what I was thinking. They'll let them fly, right?
They also take the little thing and think.
Sure they do. They don't know any better.
They think it's just that's just one of their phrases.
Yeah.
And I hate to bring it up, but when I was driving the truck and I engine for anybody who's here to New York, Connecticut, the northern states, you know, but they're mad about that. They can't use the word.
Yeah.
And now they put it on TV,
Yeah.
you know, and saying things.
Yeah.
Offend you.
Yes.
Yeah, makes me sick.
And really, I think it's a good testimony for us. And I think it does help us knowing that God is with us, that we don't have to use those words.
That's right.
We know that it's not going to be that bad. We know that we don't have to get that angry, that God is with us. God's presence means that we won't be overtaken. I think about the stories in the Bible, especially the Old Testament, where the children of Israel were outnumbered or they were surrounded, and then God did something out of the ordinary, a little bit crazy, something we would have never thought about, and took care of it because he was with them. I like the story about when he woke up the army and they slaughtered themselves. It scared them and they wound up turning on each other. I like the one where I forget who God told. It might have been Joshua or Mo. Yeah, I don't know. But they were scared. They thought they were outnumbered, and God said, "Open your eyes, open your eyes." And then he saw the army of angels all around him. And,
Well, he sent armies out, and he told them, he said, even though you ain't got 200, I'm with you.
yeah,
You'll slay the whole bunch.
that's right.
You know,
Yeah,
and
And so what does that tell us? Right? No matter what battle we face,
He's gonna be with you.
he's going to take care of it. We might be outnumbered. We might feel,
You might not think he's there, but he's there.
yeah, might feel
My
overwhelmed.
son don't think that some days he don't think he's there. I said, Lord, man can see that you're here. And I tell him, I said, he is here with you right now.
Yeah.
Where is it that says that if God is with us, who can be against us, or something like that? That effect. I think that's either
I want to say one of the
or maybe in the Bible.
One of the Corinthians. It is in the Bible. I think it's one of the Corinthians.
Ready.
Now, let's think about this right here, right? God has told the children of Israel, the Jews, that he would be with them. Now, if you could think of a more disobedient, faithlessness, complaining people,
I can't think of one.
it would have to be the Jews.
Yeah.
They're always complaining. They're always
They
disobeying.
Time they left Egypt
Yeah.
till the promised land.
Yeah. They're turning back to their idols. They're always doing that. And yet God still said he's with them. I can only think of one other person that might come close to the Jews. Know who it is? Ourselves. Me. Right? Me. We're just like them. We say we're not. We try to not be, but we have our idols. We disobey. Sometimes we lose hope and faith in God. But God didn't abandon them. And if he didn't abandon them, guess who else he's not going to abandon? He's not going to abandon us. His covenant would not bend. His love will not walk away. His presence stayed with him. And because of that, he's not going to walk away from us. His loyalty is permanent. We're a child of God. It's just like your loyalty for your child will always be there. So is God's towards us. So again, maybe we're facing something bigger. Maybe we're trying to pick up the pieces. Maybe we're in a place that we're rebuilding. Just remember that he's with you. Those two words, with you, are two very powerful words. Because when someone is with you, you're willing to do a lot of things you wouldn't. Right? Take a walk in the dark. Take a walk in the woods. Go waist deep in the ocean. Go bungee jumping or zip lining. Or parachute out of an airplane if someone's with you. Okay? It helps when someone's with you. Sometimes it might be just to go to the grocery store. You would go if someone would go with you. But those two words, with you. And when we believe those words, it can change how we face the day, how we face the project, how we face the problem, or how we face the person. Sometimes if you just know at work that one person's on your side, then you can face the problem. It seems like everyone else is against you, but you get one person, you can face the problem. You can face the person. And so, let's practice that. Let's practice his presence intentionally. Let's enjoy his presence. I like, what Kenny said. Try to spend some time in the morning. A lot of times for me, it's my drive to work. Not everyone has a long enough drive. Maybe it's when you get up. A lot of times when we get up and grab for these, right? Let's get these and then go to our Bible app and read the daily devotion, which will take you all of 3 minutes. You can get your day.
But you should be reading that on the way to work.
No, I'm not reading it on the way to work. No, yeah, I'm listening to Christian music. I'm praying with my eyes open.
Yeah.
Those things. Yeah, better because I do it all the time.
I spent better than 40 years with praying for my eyes.
Absolutely. It wouldn't work out if we prayed with our eyes closed.
When you say Jesus, take a wheel and pray.
Yeah. Paul can you imagine Paul's life, right? You know, Paul was persecuting Christians. He gets saved. And when he gets saved, who likes him? Nobody. Why? Yeah, the Romans, he's done messed that up. And then the Christians don't trust him. You know, he was all by himself. But he wasn't, was he? God was with him. And then you think about his life, though, he was persecuted. He was stoned. He was shipwrecked. He was arrested. He was in jail. Snake bitten? Can you imagine how he must have felt in jail a lot of times? But yet, he knew that God was with him. He knew that that was God's plan. And, you know, he let God strengthen him and help him through that so that he could get through that. Talk to me about God's presence. Is there a time when it just really meant something to you more than, you know, maybe a normal day, or a special time when you just knew you were in the presence of God?
He said, when I was driving, he sat in the right seat. He was my co-pilot,
Yeah,
and I knew he was there.
it's good.
Even though I've had several little accidents and one bigger, he was there.
Awesome.
And how about Chris? He got us both out. He didn't have to worry about himself. He worried about me, getting me out. And if he hadn't, I would have been here today. And I thank the good Lord that he was beside me and that he was my co-pilot.
Good. Good. Anyone else?
When I kept trying to call the IRS and the government was shut down and I got disconnected from one guy, and then the person I finally talked to is, you know, I prayed, I said, God, you don't have to work this out for me. I'm not getting anywhere. And he sent the person who knew exactly what to do and what my problem was. And she said, I don't usually work and make calls. And I knew right then
That God
had
intervened.
made it work.
Yeah. Others. All right. Let's keep going. Let's go into Haggai chapter 2. Wow, halfway done. Haggai chapter 2. Let's look at verses 1 through 3. Look at verses 1 through 3. Someone that doesn't mind reading. Haggai chapter 2, verses 1, 2, and 3.
21st day of the 7th month, the word of the Lord came through the prophet Haggai. Speak to Zerubbabel, son of Sherebiel, governor of Judah, to Joshua, son of Jehozadak, the high priest, and to the remnant of people. Ask them, who of you is left who saw this house in its former glory? How does it look to you now? Does it not seem like, does it seem to you like nothing?
Okay. When was this sermon preached? What did it say? The 21st day of the 7th month. Okay. Now, according to our calendar and our calculations, right? The first sermon that Haggai preached which was back in chapter 1, was preached on August 29th, 520 BC. Okay. And then the second sermon, which is the one we're looking at right now, was the same year, but it was on October 17th. So this is about 3 months later. Y'all see the rainbow?
Yeah.
Yes,
Probably two. Oh, I see.
Hear you?
Yeah.
We got cold, the sun come out. He's right over there and
Yeah.
the rainbow.
Reminding us,
You know.
reminding us.
Yes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. So about 2 months, not 3 months, about 2 months from August to October. And there were around 7 weeks, 8 weeks for that. Think about what you've been doing over the past 7 weeks. So, it's the last 2 months. What have we done? That would Easter be in that? Yeah, Easter's gonna be in there, right? Some things going on. Mother's Day, yeah, there's been some things. College exams, moving Chance home. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. Now, let's look. I mean, we've been busy. All of us probably can think of some things that have kept us busy during this time. But go to verses 14 and 15 of chapter 1. Chapter 1, verses 14 and 15. Someone read those two verses for me.
So the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, son of Jozadak, the high priest, and the spirit of the whole remnant of the people. They came and began to work on the house of the Lord Almighty their God on the 24th day of the 6th month.
Okay. So what have they been doing? Well, he stirred them up, right? And they came and they did work in the house of the Lord. So this was after they were working on their own houses. They've been working on the temple. Okay. And, along with whatever else they had to do day to day life, but they were spending a lot of time working on the temple. So this second sermon is almost a month after the people started their work on the temple. And so at that point, they had considered their ways, they prioritized their days, and they had done the next right thing, and they obeyed no matter what. And despite the desires and the distractions and everything, they followed their calling and began rebuilding the temple. And when we're living like that, everything's good, right? Maybe not. Look at verse 3 again. Haggai chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "Who is left among you that saw this house in her first glory? And how do you see it now? Is it not in your eyes in comparison of it as nothing?" We've talked about this a little bit. What is this talking about? The second one just wasn't as grand as the first one. Just wasn't up to par. Who was voicing that? No, who was saying this isn't quite like the last temple? No. No.
The Lord,
Who?
the Lord.
The Lord?
The old people.
The old people. There we go. The senior saints. The senior saints who remembered. You see another one?
It's the same rainbow.
By the way,
Oh, yeah. Look out there.
it's nice and bright right over the fellowship hall.
It goes all
That's
the
where all the food comes from. Yeah. Yeah, you can look at it. We can take a minute. That's God's promise to us there,
All right.
And darling, we're
let's see if we
about
find it.
done here. We're losing them.
I mean, I've got this little stuff.
Yeah, you can see the double. I really,
Please get across.
yeah, I really kind of think at times I see 3 over there. One in between the two. I haven't either. Yeah. I'll tell you what, when you pull up the road there, they stop and take a picture.
Here we go.
As long as the sun stays out there,
It's good and bright.
it'll stay.
Only God can make it. To make that so bright.
There's a 13th, right? So 5, 6.
Yeah. Well, look, can't look at.
Hold on a second. Alright, well, we're at a good stopping point anyway.
Got distracted.
That's alright. I'm distracted too. It's beautiful.
God distracted us.
Yes.
He wanted to see that.
Yeah.
He wanted you.
It reminds us of his.
He wanted you to see his miracle.
Well, it reminds us of his presence.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I see a rainbow. I am reminded of the presence of God. I know you're supposed to think of the flood and it'll never flood the earth again, but I just think about how he keeps us, how he's faithful and keeps his promises. It's exactly what I think of. So, all right. Anything else before we close in prayer? Be careful on your way home, but boy, we're thankful for the
Can
rain.
you tell Danny's hungry?
Sorry, it's all right.
No, we didn't find.
Lord, thank you for your beauty, the beauty of the rain, the sound of the rain, Lord, the dripping, all of that is so beautiful. And then, Lord, the beautiful rainbow that you provided us tonight, which does remind us of your presence, reminds us of your faithfulness and the promises that you'll always be with us. And Lord, that you won't destroy us. Lord, we know that one day this earth will be changed, but we will be with you. And so we're thankful for that. Help us to continue to do your work, no matter young, old, in the middle, wherever we're at. Lord, help us to be faithful to you. Lord, help us to realize your presence. And even this week, help us to make on purpose daily to think about how you're with us and what that means to us. Lord, we love you. Thank you for loving us, and just watch over us. And again, thank you for the much needed rain. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. I'll be able to get up the weeds out of my garden. I went out there the other night. It was so hard. I couldn't even get the weeds up. Yeah, I didn't know. Yes. Started to think she turned the oven off, so you can eat up. You like me. Well, it sounds better when I see. Sounds like she's not as being all the time. They want to eat your eyes.